Here is a look at where things stand, by the way, after the French Grand Prix. After Max Verstappen claimed his 7th victory of the season, now holds his biggest lead yet in the championship point standings, up 63 over Charles Leclerc. Ferrari going to be desperate here, Pierce, for a win this week to climb back into this championship race before F1 takes a summer break here, man. So let's go ahead and look at this week's Hungarian Grand Prix. I was just studying, reading your article on DK Nation, and we got Max Verstappen second in the odds this week to Leclerc. This week, the Red Bull driver, he told the media he doesn't think he has any chance in Hungary. This is not what you want to hear, Pierce, from your guy. That Ferrari is faster in the corners, and that will play into their hands on this track. So when it comes to betting Leclerc, plus 135, is that the better bet? Or would you actually take Verstappen at slightly longer odds at plus 140? What do you think?
I'll take Leclerc. And there's a little bit of gamesmanship here, but there's a lot of truth as well. The Red Bulls have power. They're faster on the straight stretches. They're faster at the power tracks, or the tracks that kind of blend high downforce and power. Hungary is a high downforce track. It's about being fast in the turns, and that's been Ferrari's advantage this season. So this track plays to Ferrari, and I imagine that they will win. And they should have won last week. Leclerc should have won. He had the lead. He was going to win that race. And then, unfortunately, he made an unforced error. And actually, it was like the first time in 17 years that a leader made an unforced error from – it's unbelievable. And then also, I mean, Sainz was fast as well. He just had to start DFL. So the Ferraris were good last week, and they'll be better this week. The Ferraris are going to be the play.
All right, that gamesmanship, that'd be the equivalent of you, I guess, talking up Jeff Ulrich before one of your Friday NASCAR segments with him, right?
It's up there. I'm not Max Verstappen. I don't have.
Yes, you are, dude. Wins. You're the Max Verstappen of F1 analysts here at DraftKings. Come on, dude. Don't sleep on yourself, dude. Let's do DFS. You're very welcome. Let's talk DFS strategy here. What's your approach? Because Verstappen is the most expensive guy here, but I have a feeling he's not your top-ranked DFS driver.
No, I'll go with Leclerc.
Yeah.
Max, though, don't sleep on Max. In 12 races, he's been in the optimal lineup 7 times. I know that $12,000 price tag seems pretty high, but he's the highest priced driver every week, and yet he is in the winning lineup over half of the time. So it really what it comes down to, it's either going to be Max or it's going to be Leclerc. I'm leaning towards Leclerc. As I mentioned before, when we talk about these high downforce tracks, the tracks that favor speed in the corners, that's an advantage for Ferrari. And what I'll use to decide really is just watch FP2, and we'll see who's got pace in that practice. And then also qualifying. If Leclerc gets the pole, which he typically does, then I think that's going to be a huge advantage. Leading out the gate, that would be pretty solid. So I'll take Leclerc.
Well, who are some other guys you're really hungry for on the DFS side?
I like what you did right there. Alex Albon is someone that I would consider. Alex Albon's not really a great driver. I mean, he's a fine driver. It's just that the Williams equipment isn't very good. But the appeal to Alex Albon is, A, he's very cheap, and B, his teammate is Nicholas Latifi, and he routinely finishes better than Nicholas Latifi, and so he scores some points at a bargain bin salary. Another guy at the bottom to look at is Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll, again, not very good either, but he is cheap. And over the last 5 races, 4 times, he's beat his teammate Sebastian Vettel. In 2 of the last 3 races, he's earned a top 10 finish. I think you can also consider Esteban Ocon at $5,800. He won this race last season. Now, it's pretty fluky because everyone wrecked on lap 1, turn 1. But he is still a pretty solid driver. The Alpines have been the top of the midfield. He should get a top 10 regardless of weird outcomes. But again, he did win last season, so you should consider him.
Any other bets you have your eye on outside of wagering on the winner?
I think I would look at Lance Stroll to get a top 10. He's got a top 10 finish in 2 of the last 3 races. He's going in the right direction. Other than that, there's not really a lot of appealing bets for me this week.
What about Ferrari? Plus 350 here to win the championship. Would now be a good time to take a shot on those long odds?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to go there. Look, Ferrari's taking a big step forward. Their cars are very fast. Their engineers are absolutely doing their job this season, but they're just too inconsistent. Sometimes, although they have these fast engines, we've seen them fail multiple times. And Carlos Sainz had to take a new power unit last week because they're having all these engine problems. We've seen Leclerc and Sainz make mistakes. Sainz has made more mistakes than Leclerc, but still, these guys are making too many mistakes to win a championship. And then also we've seen poor pit strategy in Monaco. They threw a race away because they just made bad calls on pit road. They've got the car. They're just not quite used to being at the top, battling for a championship. Red Bull is. Red Bull went through this last season, and they came out on top with the championship. They had the experience. Ferrari might have the car, but they just lack the experience. I think it's just going to end up being Red Bull, and Red Bull has too much of a lead at this point.